I have no idea if that's gonna work. That may not actually work. What is up, everybody? Shit, this is hard. What is up, everybody? We are finally here. For those of you who do not follow me on Twitter and have no idea why you're here, it's probably for the best. No, stop it. My name is Meli Grant. I am a voice actor. I live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. You can hear me in Funimation titles, including Dragon Ball Super, Fairy Tail, Goblin Slayer, Azur Lane, Kimono Friends, Haki Hoshin Engi, as well as a couple of Media Blasters titles, including Aino Kasabi and World War Blue. Wait a minute, quick correction so I can correct a mistake, because apparently I flubbed my own credits. Kimono Friends was not, in fact, a Funimation property. It was produced by Discotheque Media in collaboration with Sound Cadence. I was directed by the amazing and talented Marissa Lenti, and I should have remembered this because I was in the damn thing! Anyway, back to the video. I have been challenged to do voice acting. I have been challenged to do 6 voices for you. I got a lot of suggestions that went all over the place in a bunch of different directions. A couple of them I'm pretty sure were meme suggestions that I took very seriously. And it was really hard to choose which ones I was going to do. And it took a long time and a lot of rearranging names so that I could try to find the most dynamic, the most interesting to listen to, but also just the most interesting characters to me. And then I did this crazy thing where I went down the list and I took all of them and divided them all into groups of 6 and then tried to make all of the other groups sound interesting in case I decided to come back and revisit for other characters. So, a week later, did I say a week? I probably meant like 2 or 3 weeks later. I have finally narrowed down my list of characters to present to you. I am in my home booth that I have constructed in my walk-in closet. I am recording on a Sennheiser 416, which is a shotgun microphone. The typical microphone that I record on when I go into a studio is going to be a Neumann TLM 103 or a Neumann U87. They're both large diaphragm condensers. Typically, the difference is that they will capture a little bit more nuance in your voice. It hits a lot more of the tiny little subtleties. It can also hear your food digest a whole lot better. The reason I am using a Sennheiser shotgun microphone and not a typical large diaphragm condenser microphone is because my typical large diaphragm condenser microphone is in the shop right now because it's broken. And since we're living in the apocalypse, thank you, Courtney Miller, for that voice. I'm going to use that forever. Everything's happening a little slower now, so I have no idea when I'm going to get my baby back, but you know what? I love this one just as much. Shotgun microphones are typically used in commercial and promo because you can get very close up on the mic and you can take advantage of that brilliant, boomy proximity effect, and you can say, "in a world," or you can say, "the new Mazda 2020," and you can create that really awesome middle of your ear, like ASMR happy sound. And however, this is not a commercial, this is voiceover. And so in order to compensate, instead of standing the typical 6 to 8 inches away from my microphone, I'm standing a little bit further away so it sounds a little bit more natural. But you did not come here for microphones, you came here for voices. And so I'm not gonna spend all day talking to you about the technical and the physical hardware and this and that. We're gonna talk about voice acting. And we are going to talk about characters. So, you are probably wondering which ones I have picked for you today. None of them will be using that voice. I don't even know what that voice is. In no particular, who am I kidding? This is extremely particular, carefully curated order. We are starting with... So, Alvida was suggested to me by Cedric Thompson. Thank you so much for that recommendation. Alvida is the first villain, as I understand it. I haven't watched it. I'm so sorry. It's a really long series. There's a lot of anime out there, okay? Give me a break. I will get to it. I swear. I'm in it. Somewhere. Little babies running around in one of the seasons. But Alvida is the first villain that you encounter in the very first episode of the series, many, many years ago. And you can tell from that video that she is this enormous, imposing character. And you can see as I say that, I'm already making my body bigger. Typically in anime, the bigger the character is, the deeper their voice will be. There are certainly characters that go against that grain, but it's not common. So when I'm creating a character like that, I'm going to have my arms up in the air. I'm gonna widen my stance, and I'm going to try to evoke a woman of that size. She's a lady pirate, and she's incredibly strong. The J also, you could tell, had a very husky, chesty,
throaty voice, so that's where I go naturally if I'm recreating this character.
I might give her a little bit of swagger because she's in charge, make her sound a little bit
Edgier, hit those vowels a little harder. What are you doing on my ship? Do you want to walk the plank? Well, then you better tell me exactly what I want, or I'm gonna send you straight to the bottom of the sea. I'm gonna hit you so hard with this club, you're gonna go straight out the bottom of my ship, and then my boys are gonna have to patch it up because there's a hole in the bottom of my ship. So I'm gonna invoice your family so that I don't have to pay for this because this isn't my fault.
That went somewhere. But, of course, this is not the Alvida that Cedric suggested. The Alvida that was suggested is the one that comes back about 50 or so episodes later after she's eaten the smooth fruit and it's changed her body. It's made her skinny, but no less powerful. So let's give a listen to that.
私は悪魔の実を食べて変わったのさ。その名もすべすべの実。
Okay, so completely different. So this one is a lot more feminine, a lot more elegant. So if I was coming back in as this character, I'd give her a softer voice, I'd make her sound a little bit more delicate, I'd make her a little bit more elegant. Let's see the English.
I guess I really did change after eating the fruit calls.
I guess I really did change after eating the fruit calls.
Smooth fruit.
Smooth
No
fruit.
attack can hurt my skin because it slides right off.
It slides right off. So she's got a little bit of a lilt to her. She does this elegant little lift when she delivers a line. Like, who are you looking at? I'm a lady. I've got this beautiful body, and have you seen what I can do with this club? All right, let's do this. I guess I really did change after eating the fruit called smooth fruit. No attack can hurt my skin because it slides right off. Unfortunately, a lowly fruit could only improve. Unfortunately, a lowly fruit couldn't improve upon my already stunning good looks. One big change you may have noticed was that I lost my freckles. I'm okay with that. Moving right along.
Number 5勝ち気なバディはランクアップラビットヒーローミルコ
チーム組んだんだってな。弱虫め。
Come on, I had to do this character. Ugh. I'm getting so excited I'm tearing my booth down. Rumi Isagiyama, otherwise known as Mirko the Rabbit Hero. Thank you to Charles Lanier for suggesting this one. Mirko has not been cast yet, so we do not know what the English voice sounds like. But let's listen to the Japanese again.
今悪いこと企んでるやつ私にぶっ飛ばされる覚悟しとけよ
She's got a chest voice. She's got a bit of a husky voice. Again, bigger characters or more muscular characters tend to have huskier, deeper voices. That is the archetype that is very rarely broken. So, because we have no English to consider, I'm gonna take some liberties with this one. But I'm also not gonna be that outlandish. I'm gonna place this right in the center of my wheelhouse. I'm gonna do as close to my natural voice and delivery as possible. She's a tough character, so she's got a lot of edge, so that's gonna come out in the way that I deliver my lines. I'm gonna evoke that confidence, I'm gonna evoke that strength, so there are gonna be a lot of tight buttons. She says something and there are no ifs, ands, or buts. There is not a question mark on the end, there is a period, if not an exclamation point. She does not wish-wash when she says something. When she wants your attention, she gets your attention. So that's gonna come out in the way I deliver the character. Let's look at the scene. Oh, also, I am going to be looking at the manga for a little bit of additional material. So if you do not even want to know that she even exists after episode 84, I'm sorry. But here is a link somewhere to skip this. However, be forewarned, the material is going to be in the final product. Let's do this. So Mirko has just been introduced at the Pro Hero Billboard chart event, and she immediately shoots a one-liner over her shoulder to edge shot Shinya Kamihara, who is standing to her right. I heard you formed a team. So that's a little bit short. I could either stretch that out. I heard you formed a team. Or, I can completely ignore my own self-direction and not do that at all. I can't for the life of me figure out why, but I didn't do a retake of this. Anyway. Or I could add something on the end. Typically, if I'm going to add a name, I might use his last name, but I don't think Mirko does, so let's go with his first name because she don't care. I heard you formed a team, Shinya. What a weakling. Cool, so at this point she is on the mic, and I kind of imagine her grabbing the mic away from Crust, the shield hero, and then planting her feet and presenting herself to the world. To all the plotters and schemers out there, get ready for me to kick all your asses! I'll take it. Moving on. Wee-oo, this is your last chance to get the heck out of here if you don't want to find out anything about what's to come. I promise it's not going to be that much, but if you don't want anything, click wherever the heck I just put the button, and it will skip you past this character. So Mirko has just taken out the Nomu, and she's very wounded. She has to recover. She's gonna keep her head high. She's gonna proclaim to her enemy that she's not afraid of them. But what I wanna do is I wanna play with this scene. And I wanna imagine that she's hurt. And I wanna imagine that she's struggling. And I want that to work its way in. In the manga, she does nothing but grin, but I want to try to breathe some life into this scene and see if we can flesh it out and make it a little bit more engaging, even if it means creating the illusion that she's in a little bit more danger than she might be when this episode finally airs. Let's see what we come up with. First, we gotta breathe. I guess I shouldn't ignore this, huh? If the only way to stop you is by crushing your heads, then this will be much easier. Then this will be much easier. Then this will be much easier. Then this will be way easier than holding back on a normal villain. I live with the reminder of the possibility of my death every day, so that I'll have no regrets when I die. The hero Mirko won't be taken down by some mindless zombies! Come at me! Dude, this light is hot. I'm taking a break. I'll see you in a few.
I couldn't let that happen. I'd do anything for my husband, Mr. Valiant. Anything.
What a wife.
Jessica Rabbit was suggested by Matthew Voss. Thank you, Matthew. It's been ages since I've seen this movie, but I always remember Jessica Rabbit being this sexy, smooth, sultry, almost like Full Metal Alchemist lust. How merciless. How dare you do that to me? You would dare scar this perfect little face? I would never do something like that to you. I'm too delicate, I'm too soft. But if you get in my way, or you say something nasty to my man, we're going to have words. You understand, don't you? Right, so smooth, sultry, sexy. It's, again, down in the chest voice. You're putting a lot of air in. You're trying to make it as smooth and as breathy as possible. Now, I have a bit of a naturally raspy, sort of husky voice, and so the way that we work around that is we support. We use more air. The more air I push through, the smoother it's going to get. I try to just let the air be a silky smooth little blanket to cover my vocal cords. That way they sound like they're made of velvet. So, here we go. You've got the wrong idea about me, Mr. Valiant. I'm a pawn in this, just like Roger. Can you help me find him? Just name your price, I'll pay it. I love my husband, you've got me all wrong. You don't know how hard it is being a woman, looking the way I do. I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way. You didn't catch me, Mr. Valiant. You were set up to take those pictures. Maroon wanted to blackmail Acme. I didn't want to have anything to do with it. But he said if I don't pose for those patty cake pictures, Roger would never work in this town again. I couldn't let that happen. I'd do anything for my husband, Mr. Valiant. Anything. Oh man, is it getting hot in here, or is it just me? Anyway.
僕の名はシャドウ・ザ・ヘッジホッグ。愚かな人類を裁くために生まれた天よりの使者。
Okay, Shadow the Hedgehog. Thank you, Kieran Strange, for the suggestion. I would love to hang out and get coffee when this apocalypse is over, because we both have lived in the same town for a little bit now, and we still haven't met each other. What's up with that? Anyway, so Shadow the Hedgehog appears in a bunch of Sonic games. I believe he has his own title, as well as he appears in Sonic Boom and Sonic Adventure something. Matt Shipman, help me, please. I have not played any of these. I played Sonic 2, I played Sonic and Knuckles. That's about it. I played a little bit of Sonic 3, but I borrowed it from a friend and I had to return it. So, knowing nothing, I imagine Shadow the Hedgehog being this sort of darker, edgier hedgehog. Someone that's seen things that you don't understand. Someone that has to fight to get everything. Someone that's a little fed up that Sonic gets to sit up there on his high horse and win the day every single time, while treading all over the rest of us. Let's listen to it.
I'm Shadow the Hedgehog, and now I am the most powerful hedgehog in the world!
So he's got this smoother... So he has this smoother, more open sound. I'm Shadow the Hedgehog, and I'm the most powerful hedgehog in the universe. I like that. I'm sticking with mine, though. So shadow scenes are very few and far between, and there are always these tiny little interactions before the game takes back over. So I have amalgamated a whole bunch of lines from a number of different games, and I've just sort of smushed it together into something that feels like a story. Here we go. I think there's a plane going through. I think there's a plane going overhead. I don't think the central AC is on. Weird. Let's go. It all starts with this. A jewel containing the ultimate power. So I want to keep my pipes open as wide as I possibly can because I need a lot of air and I need a lot of support to get a voice that deep. You sensing a theme here? Lots of air, lots of support, it's kind of what we do. I also want my instrument to be as open as possible, kind of imagining myself to be like a tuba. A bigger horn instrument is gonna create a deeper sound. I don't need to have that in my body, but I need to have that inside. Lots of air, lots of support. My name is Shadow, and soon I will be the most powerful hedgehog in the world. The power of these emeralds will make me invincible. Save the world? You? Don't make me laugh. You're weak. And do you know what makes you weak? Your loyalty to your pathetic friends. You're not going through that portal. I'm going to show you just how weak you are. I don't play games. Farewell. Gotta know the battle shout. You always have to nail the battle shout.
Chaos control!
フリーザ
やってくれましたね、皆さん。
So, let's talk about Frieza. Oh, putting this one in later. Hello from the future. This one was suggested by Anthony Pisano. So, Anthony, thank you for the suggestion. First off, we all know what this character sounds like. I'm not going to pretend to invent some new voice for Frieza, but I want to talk about it a little bit. Frieza has been voiced by a lot of different actors. I grew up on Linda Young, who had a very throaty, kind of a textured voice. She was like, I'm Frieza. I'm the most powerful being in the universe.
What do you want, monkey?
Then, of course, Kai comes along, and we end up with Christopher Ayers, who has a much more nasal, kind of a regal kind of a sound, which is something that I've not done a whole lot of, and I'm probably going to be terrible at. Let's get ourselves a little refresher. This is Chris.
Well, you've really done it now, haven't you? Once again, my dreams for immortality have been crushed upon the shores of your incompetence. Tell me.
He's so good. So the first thing I notice about Frieza is that he has a very nasal voice. Everything about this character voice is projected up out through the very tip of the bridge of the nose. Now, he also has this very British-like, general British accent, or at least something approaching that. And so it makes him sound all that more regal. And on top of that, he's very exacting in his words, so he needs to be extra enunciated. He's just this long-suffering queen who just wants to rule his galaxy, and anyone that doesn't want to listen to him can... Oh. And then, but when Frieza gets angry, he tends to get very tight in his voice, and it's like he's clenching everything because he can barely see. He's so seething with anger. So in the end, but then he also does those little lilts when he goes up and does this little flowery thing. So in the end, we have Lord Frieza. That's Lord Frieza to you, and don't you dare mess it up, because if you don't know how to respect my authority, well then you can just go ahead and die! This light is really hot. So, I have a script that I have amalgamated from a couple of different sources, and it happens to be something that I like reading, so here we go. Well, you've really done it now, haven't you? Once again, my dreams of immortality have been shushed. Shushed. Once again, my dreams of immortality have been crushed upon the shores of your incompetence. Well now, you worthless pieces of trash. I assume you've already gone and said your goodbyes. Still, to think, Vegeta, you are on the very cusp of having your wish granted. How tragic. Although it is much more tragic for me. Never before have I been made such a fool of by such contemptible low-life trash! How incredibly irritating not to have seen the writing on the wall!
You filth! You vile filth-sucking maggots! You will rue the day you crossed my path! Prepare yourselves to embrace oblivion!
I'm leaving that where it is. And finally, last but certainly not least.
このディオは全ての生物や全てのスタンド使いをぶっちぎりで超越したのだ。そして今では5秒とだんだん長く時を止めていられる。ジョータロウ、貴様のパワーがどの程度のものかとくと拝見してやろう。ザ・ワールド、止まれい時よ。
See, y'all thought you were sassing me with this one, but I want you to know something. I take your memes very seriously, so we are doing this. Oh boy. So this was recommended by John B165. John, thank you for this. This is from the Stardust Crusaders chapter of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Now, I have not seen JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. However, my dear, dear friend Youngie Chang did a video for Getting the Robot that made me so interested. So I'm going to be going through this at some point in the near future. Really excited. Dio Brando! I'm going to cut straight to the English because I know that Pat Seitz does this and I want to hear how he did it. I suspect it's going to sound like Pat Seitz.
Now, Jotaro, you're about to experience just how weak you are! Time to make good on my promise!
Okay, cutting that off because you don't get to hear the end of that. You get to hear me do it. So Pat Seitz has a very deep voice, and there is no way in hell I'm ever going to have a voice that deep. So I need to try and figure out how I can fake it. And the way I do that is not that dissimilar from what we did with the Shadow. I need to make sure that I use a lot of air and that I have a lot of support, common theme. But I also need to make sure I'm making my character sound as big as he does. So I want to open up my mouth very wide with every line that I say, create as much space as I possibly can. Then I need to watch his performance and figure out where he puts his emphasis, how he puts a button on the end of every line, and do my best to emulate Meli Grant's version of a Pat Seitz performance. Then I just throw my voice out because I love you guys. You owe me.
Like a ray of clarity dispersing the shadows in my mind, a revelation befell me. I was Dio, and my destiny was to surpass all living things, including stand users. I can stop time for 5 seconds, and the time limit keeps extending by the day. Now, Jotaro, you're about to experience just how weak you are. Time to make good on my promise. The world grinds to a halt!
And that's Dio. What? Were you expecting something else? Done. So, that is all 6. We're done. Thank you so much to everybody who suggested a character to me. I am going to go back through everyone else's suggestions, and I will maybe, at the very least, just do like a quick, rapid fire 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just go through all of them to give you my gut instinct on each of the characters. And as for all of this, when I work on Dragon Ball Super, we always save the screams and the shouts and the deaths until the very end because it tends to wreck your voice. As you can hear, I'm a little bit froggy. So I'm going to take the next day or two and do vocal rest, drink a lot of water, and I'm going to come back and revisit this and edit it all together and maybe throw in some music and some sound effects and see what it sounds like. And so yeah, I hope that you really like it. This was a lot of fun. It was really cool to have a chance to play with a lot of these really iconic characters. And in the case of Mirko, have a chance to invent one from scratch. So I will take myself to bed, and I will see you guys in a few days.
1 eternity later.
What is up, everybody? It has been about a week, and we are done editing everything. Woohoo! Yes, that's right. I said I'm done, and it took me quite a long time to get everything done because I gotta be honest with you, I've never done anything like this before. This was a completely new experience for me, and it was really hard. I've done some small video editing projects. I've done my visual reel, which you can see on my website at meligrant.com, but outside of that, that's about it. So how'd it turn out? I'm really happy with it. I think it came out really good, and I'm really proud of myself. No lie, I had a lot of nights where I was up until about 5 in the morning editing, and if you follow me on Twitter, you probably saw a lot of those messages. I tried to keep you guys up to date. I knew that a lot of time was going by, and I didn't want to leave you guys in the dark, so I tried to update you every step of the way just to keep you in the loop. So, without any further delay, I present to you the final 6 Voices Challenge compilation. I guess I really did change after eating the fruit called smooth fruit. No attack can hurt my skin because it slides right off. Unfortunately, a lowly fruit couldn't improve upon my already stunning good looks. One big change you may have noticed was that I lost my freckles. I heard you formed a team, Shinya. What a weakling. To all the plotters and schemers out there, get ready for me to kick all your asses! I guess I shouldn't ignore this, huh? If the only way to stop you is by crushing your heads, then this will be way easier than holding back on a normal villain. I live with the reminder of the possibility of my death every day, so that I'll have no regrets when I die. The hero Mirko won't be taken down by some mindless zombies! Come at me! You've got the wrong idea about me, Mr. Valiant. I'm a pawn in this, just like Roger. Can you help me find him? Just name your price, I'll pay it. I love my husband, you've got me all wrong. You don't know how hard it is being a woman, looking the way I do. I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way. You didn't catch me, Mr. Valiant. You were set up to take those pictures. Maroon wanted to blackmail Acme. I didn't want to have anything to do with it. But he said if I don't pose for those patty cake pictures, Roger would never work in this town again. I couldn't let that happen. I'd do anything for my husband, Mr. Valiant. Anything. It all starts with this. A jewel containing the ultimate power. My name is Shadow. And soon, I will be the most powerful hedgehog in the world. The power of these emeralds will make me invincible. Save the world? You? Don't make me laugh. You're weak. And do you know what makes you weak? Your loyalty to your pathetic friends. You're not going through that portal. I'm going to show you just how weak you are. I don't play games. Farewell. Chaos Control! Well, you've really done it now, haven't you? Once again, my dreams of immortality have been crushed upon the shores of your incompetence. Well now, you worthless pieces of trash. I assume you've already gone and said your goodbyes. Still, to think, Vegeta, you are on the very cusp of having your wish granted. How tragic. Although it is much more tragic for me. Never before have I been made such a fool of by such contemptible low-life trash! How incredibly irritating not to have seen the writing on the wall. You filth! You vile filth-sucking maggots! You will rue the day you crossed my path! Prepare yourselves to embrace oblivion!
Like a ray of clarity dispersing the shadows in my mind, a revelation befell me. I was Dio, and my destiny was to surpass all living things, including stand users. I can stop time for 5 seconds, and the time limit keeps extending by the day! Now, Jotaro, you're about to experience just how weak you are! Time to make good on my promise! The world grinds to a halt!
So what'd you think? I really hope you liked it. And hey, real talk, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I had a ton of fun making it. Like I said, I've never done anything like this before. So yeah, I'd say see you next time, but I don't really make content on this channel. But hey, if you liked it, share it with all your friends. If you don't already, you can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Melizande. And, disclaimer. Keep in mind, I only speak from my own experiences, so my opinions don't reflect those of Funimation's or any of the other studios I've worked with, any of the directors that I've worked with. They are my observations and my experiences alone. But with all that being said, I'm out of here. See you Starside.